Well, hello YouTube, it's me Fortmaster, and welcome to a new reaction. So I've been a fan of both Undertale and Deltarune pretty much since I discovered them. But I'm not obsessed with it as much as some people are. My obsession with lore and trying to figure stuff out, really didn't start until I started doing reactions of it and actually started wading, waist deep into the lore and the nitty-grittiness of the story and the themes and stuff like that. And I didn't start that until well into the life of Chapter 2, less than a little over a year before Chapters, 3 and 4 came out. So I never really got into, the theorizing scene when Chapter 1 came out. I pretty much just played the game, had a lot of fun with it, played it on my channel, and then put the demo away, hoping just for when the full game would come out. So, when I saw this video in my suggestion feed, a Deltarune Chapter 1 era fandom history lesson by Ryubaz72, I thought, that might be something fun to watch, given that I didn't really interact with the fandom, at all when it was only Chapter 1. When it comes to, Toby Fox, games and properties, I was very much a passive observer of the Undertale fandom. I loved a lot of the AUs people made. I watched a couple of theories and stuff that when they came out. Loved listening to music and covers people made, but then that faded over time. And when Deltarune first came out, it didn't hit the same sort of zeitgeist in my mind until, again, I started doing reactions to the stuff. So when it comes to stuff that was theories and speculation when it was only Chapter 1, I have basically no idea what that was like, because I mean, it's sort of like what happened when Chapters 3 and 4 came out. We had so many ideas when it was just Chapters 1 and 2, because we kind of thought the game was going to be a lot more linear than it turned out to be, where, we had Noelle in Chapter 2, so there might be somebody else we get to have as a partner, a teammate in Chapter 3. People thought it was going to be Toriel, since, she was literally in the room when the Dark Fountain formed, and then people were speculating, maybe Chapter 4 Caddy will be the partner there. Ooh, you never know. But then, since it's come out, it's thrown a couple of wrenches in the works and people have had to rework what they think is actually going to happen. So, I mean, thinking back to when it was just Chapter 1, and we had, literally no idea of what could potentially happen, at all? Yeah, I want to see, since I wasn't technically there, I want to see what the fandom was like back then. So yeah, might as well get this thing started and have some fun with it. So, of course, as always, original video is linked in the description if you haven't seen it yet for some reason. Corner video will lead to my Let's Play of the day. And if you like this video or any other video that I make, I'd very much appreciate it if you gave the video a like and subscribe to my channel, because almost 3/4 of the people that watch my channel aren't subscribed, and I'd very much like that to change, because my next big goal is hopefully hit 6,000 subscribers by the end of the year. But yeah, we'll hold out of the way. Let's get this thing started then, shall we?
Sup, team. Guess what? Chris is Kara, Rouse is the knight, and everybody we know will die. Deltarune will end when Chapter 2 comes out, because everybody will be dead. And everyone died. Yeah. That's what happened, right? Right now, I am in the year 2018. Let me tell you, it's nuts. Everything is flourishing right now. We are on the absolute up and up here. The only thing that could ruin this just total bliss is a second coming of the Black Death. Sup, team?
What?
That was me from the past. Or was it me from the future who gained the ability to time travel from the year 2056, LARPing as me after traveling to Halloween 2018?
Man, how many layers does this story have, man?
Wait, why Halloween? Yeah, Halloween. People forget that's when Deltarune Chapter 1 released. Literally, Halloween night. I remember vividly. I feel like we need to talk about that more, by the way, because that makes Jackenstein the most related to the game's actual release date. I don't know how to feel about that, but regardless, not what we're here to talk about.
Think about it. When did I release my playthrough of Chapter 1? Like, it couldn't have been that far after the game actually came out. Yeah, November 2nd. I published my first video on Deltarune basically ever just a couple of days after it came out. Yeah. I still can't believe, why did I make the last... God, you know, just thinking back, like, I'm looking at, like, the times here, and the last episode of Chapter 1 was literally 6 minutes long, and it's because, back then, I didn't, you know, record in big chunks and cut it up. I very much, like, had my eye on the clock and only recorded, like, half-hour-ish episodes. Oh, God, I was such an idiot back then. I mean, arguably, nothing's really changed.
I am here to cure what I have dubbed new-gen-itis. What is new-gen-itis, you may be asking? Well, it is an epidemic of Deltarune fans that just don't know what they're talking about. And not gatekeeping here. It is awesome to be a new-gen. Obviously, that's what keeps the game alive here, but it's even freaking cooler to be an educated new-gen. Alright? This one goes out to all of my Deltarune TikTok commenters, by the way, because holy, I don't know what happens to us on TikTok, man, but we just go through like 5 lobotomies whenever we enter TikTok comment sections.
I've never had a TikTok account, and I probably never will. I don't care.
It's stupid. So let me be your guide to educated new-gendom. My new-gen team. I'm going to have us start from the very beginning. Halloween Day, 2018. Well, actually not really, because we're not talking about Chapter 1 itself. Let's just, I don't know, probably a few weeks out from Chapter 1's release, okay? Because Chapter 1 itself is for a whole other glaze sesh. But instead, I'm going to take us through that historical time period from Halloween 2018 all the way to September 2021. This is the aftermath of Deltarune Chapter 1. Chapter 1's ending left just so much mass hysteria in its wake that honestly, I could argue it was even crazier than the Friend Inside Me Pluie Sweepstakes era, spanning from September 2021 to June 2025. While that era was, like, undoubtedly the longest stretch of just pure mania we've ever endured, the post-Chapter 1 era, which spans from Halloween 2018 to September 2021, just to repeat it after like a minute, because that's in the script, that era was just insane in its own right, and you should all know about it because...
Riab, I'm just gonna ask, you're not much one for writing scripts, are you? No criticism or anything. I am very much in the same boat. I hate writing scripts, and they are never that good when I do.
It's mostly been forgotten. I think it's sad. It's been overshadowed by that Pluie Sweepstakes era. And I only see post-Chapter 1 talked about just very, very rarely. So, with that being said, let's go into some prominent stuff that happened in the fandom during 2018.
As I said again, this is going to be... I'm fairly certain that most of this stuff is going to be new to me, because I wasn't very much in the fandom itself when the first chapter came out. I just played the game because, oh, Toby Fox made Undertale 2! Played it, had fun, and then put it to the side waiting for the full game to come out.
And beyond, obviously, again, for the third time. So, first off, I want to talk about just genuine fan content as a whole, not shitposts, etc. Because, oh my god, the memes and shitposts are like a whole other chunk of history that honestly still kind of persist into today, some of them, but we'll see that later. For now, we gotta talk about Chapter 1's ending. We all know Chapter 1's ending.
Yeah.
Chris pulls out a knife and looks scary as shit, and they had a red eye. So we, yes we, on everyone's souls, we thought that Chris was possessed by or literally was Kara Undertale. It was nuts. And in typical Kara fashion, because Kara definitely made us do that, Chris was destined to go on a killing spree during Chapter 2. Like, hometown, Card Kingdom, just all of it. Crushed by an envious envy. It was bad, man.
Honestly, I'm trying to remember, what was my reaction to the end of Chapter 1 now that I'm thinking about it? Chris? Are you being possessed? What the? What? God, those days before we fully understood that Chris was their own person and we were actually controlling their body against their will. Ah, those were the days.
It was bad. And when I say all of it, I seriously do mean, like, all of it. Everybody was subjected to shit. Sans, Papyrus, Undyne, Gaster, Rules,
Well,
King,
you destroy
Lance,
another
Victoria,
timeline.
Asgore, Sham, Cheval, everybody was getting fight themes back in the day, dude. And as I'm writing this, I realize this is honestly the first time of many that I'm going to bring up the fact that we are basically in a Deltarune Renaissance age right now. Because if you think about it, we've had more Papyrus themes than ever, more Asgore themes than ever. We have used the classics and paved the future with them. And I think that that is pretty damn beautiful. Anyway, now, let's go over some of our genocides with an apostrophe S from back in the day. First off, my absolute favorite one has got to be versus Susie and Rouse. Now, I'm only going to briefly go over why this one actually holds, like, some weird route merit today, which is fucking stupid that it does, by the way, but I went over this, like, 3 months ago.
God, look at the Chris sprite. That's just crazy evil Chris right there. Oh God.
And we were right in 2018. Go watch that. It's hopefully up there. I always forget to put info cards, but hopefully it's there. But anyway, the title of this one, pretty self-explanatory. Chris kills Susie and Rouse because Kara made them do it.
Yeah.
How evil. Funny thing is, this starts a trend of these old fan works actually, like, getting some things right, or, like, aligning with our predictions now, and it's kind of nutty. And now, again...
Well, the fact that, technically, very technically, Chris is a bad guy because they're working with the Knight, even if it is, might be, not entirely voluntary. I mean, yeah, that is kind of funny how that technically is kind of true.
Again, I elaborate on this, and we were right in 2018, but Susie and Rouse are kinda, sorta, maybe implied to die later on in the weird route in the Mansell minigames, but, so, yeah. I don't even know what to say, man, just make it that what you will. FaZe might have been a visionary. This track was made by FaZe, by the way, not Just a Dog. Oh my god, we've got to talk about Just a Dog, man. That guy had the most popular Deltarune Chapter 2 Genocide slop content on YouTube, and all of it was just stolen tracks, stolen art that the guy had zero permission for, but oh my god, the masses, including middle school me, ate that shit up and left no crumbs. It was nutty. And looking back, it's just so funny, because again, all of this guy's shit was stolen, and he got 50,000 subs off it, like close to it. That's crazy. He was one of the old school giants. Let's linger on Chapter 2 Genocide Slop for a little while longer because we've got to talk about something else. We gotta talk about the Castle Time Trio, baby, by Franderman123. Oh my god. Dude, the Castle Time Trio was the...
Oh, this isn't official. Rules is actually moving. Rules doesn't move.
Shit, man. It's this 20-minute animation with an actually, like, really good OST. Just go watch it, please. Educate yourselves, that's your homework. And it is just called the Castle Trio, if you look it up, but come on, man. We all know it was the Castle Time Trio. You just had to be there, man. You just had to be there.
Castle Time.
Now, Castle Time Trio, I want to bring it up because it predicted the hype around Chris Knight.
I'm sorry. You are taking too long? When did this come out again?
This is like the one thing I remember that had Chris Knight actually in it. Like, no stretches, nothing, dude. It's
Knight.
Bizarre to see. And also, what the fuck? What the fuck? You are taking too long.
That's what I get for pausing the video.
I also want to mention this versus Undyne, the Undyne concept, because it's just so funny. Why is she red? This is insane. There's also this Papyrus one that's just really funny because he's a knight. Always bet on Papyrus Knight, obviously. Yeah. But with these two concepts in mind, we gotta look at this epidemic of just, we thought the entire game would be only in Chapter 1's Dark World, but you know what? We didn't know any better. We didn't know there could be more Dark Worlds, so...
Yeah, so, like, I'm looking at this, and literally every single one is just happening, you know, in the forest, in the castle. I mean, that kind of thought process, as I said before, did kind of stick around, where it was very much, we thought, it's like, once Chapter 2 came out, every chapter after that was going to be in a similar vein to Chapter 2, with, there's going to be some random person from the outside working their way in and stuff like that. I mean, I'm still upset Toriel was asleep the entire chapter, still. But, I mean, there has to be, like, some sort of narrative reason for it, which, you know, I'm still waiting for, Toby.
We were completely justified in making them all in Card Kingdom, but look at this. These are both in the Scarlet Forest, like possibly the most anticlimactic areas possible. It's just really funny. Like, if it was all in Chapter 1, then I guess that would have meant more Jewel content, so whatever. But,
yeah,
like, take this Papyrus one again, for example. It's just Bone Trousel, or actually, my bad, it's just Field of Hopes and Dreams in the style of Bone Trousel. We had nothing to work off of back in the day, man. It was just funny. There are metric buttloads of these genocide concepts that you can find yourself on YouTube and SoundCloud alike. Oh yeah, wait, there's also Gaster.
Yeah, it's always Gaster.
Because it's Gaster. But I just want you to look at this one though, because look at this from Chapter 1 era, and look at this more modern concept, made by a different person. He's ahead in both, bro. I'm telling you, we are in a renaissance. I'm going to keep connecting us back to the idea of a Deltarune renaissance, but man.
I mean, I could potentially see it because, I mean, in Chapter 4, when you fight the Titan, the silhouette you see before it unveils itself, like, it uncovers itself with its wings, like, it looks like the edge of a face. It definitely, like, Toby did that on purpose. He definitely did that on purpose. Whether that's, like, just a one-off thing, or they're going to do something similar again later in the game, and just sort of, like play it off as, like, it looks like a silhouette, and then it actually is the silhouette that it looks like, instead of it being, you know, Titan unfurling.
Just look at this. Need I say more? Now, on to the next, I guess, big topic. I'm kind of lightning rounding these, I apologize, but I could probably do whole long breakdowns on each individual thing, but anyway, the Knight. Even back in the day, the Knight had some fairly large discussion, but gotta admit, it was pretty much trumped by the idea of Chris just killing anything that moved, so it didn't get nearly as much attention as it does now, but still, there were absolutely some gems. And I want to...
God, honestly, I mean, looking back, and, like, knowing what we know now, you know, specifically, what the Knight would actually look like, almost literally every single one. And I think the only exception I saw from this was another video I did a reaction to, like, discussing, like, just before Chapters 3 and 4 came out, they were just discussing, like, what the possibilities of, you know, Carol Knight, or Nightmare, as it was called. And, like, every single Knight design I ever saw was, you know, an actual Knight, like this one. But that design had a very dark, and almost, like, had the skeletal deer, like, helmet, which, I mean, admittedly, while still not accurate, was a lot closer to what we actually got than, you know, than I think people will give it credit for.
I'm going to bring up that back in the day, we basically didn't have Knight candidates. I know I just brought up Castle Time Trio having Chris Knight, and there's actually this, like, fan art of Rousey Knight that I found. I know there's more, but regardless, majority of people's ideas, from what I can tell, had the Knight be their own character. Here's one example of an original Knight design.
This information, it's actually even cooler. This was Gaster Knight fan art 2 years before Deltarune even released. Oh, okay. Gaster Knight.
With a track to accompany it. Pretty good. Go watch it. But I want to talk about this one. It's an animation by Mehmet SK from 5 years ago, and let me tell you, this guy was on fucking demon side because he predicted 3 things about the Knight fight that we actually got. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's accurate, too. It's not even stretching logic. It's genuinely so close to what we got. Well, not the whole thing. The whole thing's wrong as shit. But just look at it. But there's some things that are shockingly accurate.
What are you talking about?
By the way, this animation is, like, genuinely super good. I'd say go watch it on your own. But anyway, first things first. Chris opens a chest and gets the dark armor to help with the night fight.
Dark armor.
That's just the fucking Shadow Mantle a year before it was actually, like, even name dropped.
Light armor, super armor, super armor. What is this? I mean, like, dark scarf, dark armor, super armor. What are these stats?
Holy shit. That's not even all of it. Our goat Mehmet predicted 2 attacks. Look at this. That's the fucking box split, dude. And look at this. It's the sword spin plus the big secret boss final attack background thing. Like, what? Just crazy coincidences.
Jeez, how did they animate
four
this?
Things. I don't know why I said
it's weird because this stuff looks like too, like, it's funny because, like, this animation stuff like this for these attacks, it looks too good. Like, maybe it's just maybe it's just me or my monitor or whatever, but, like, these look too high effort for the attacks we usually get in Deltarune. It's weird.
Free, but regardless, it's just nutty. Check out this animation. It's actually pretty impressive. I'm going to use an example from Mehmet SK again, because again, they were just on Demon Time. They also made an evil Rousey fight animation. And let me tell you.
Hi! Knockoff Noel? Wow, okay.
The idea of evil Rousey was so massive that I'm just going to use this one thing to represent it as a whole. Because if you thought it was big during Pluie Sweepstakes era, where people thought Rousey would betray us, oh nah. Chapter 1 era, oh my god, we all thought he was going to turn, man. It was practically a guarantee, you couldn't even debate it. Pretty self-explanatory here, Rousey's just evil and or possessed.
Yeah.
That's what most of these concepts chalked up to be, and he either got pissed off and just lost his shit, or he got possessed. I think in Mehmet SK's he was possessed. But also, I want to use the same animation to knock 2 birds out with 1 stone. Look at this Noel. That's how you can tell this was after Toby Fox gave us a glimpse of Noel's design. Because on Twitter, oh my gosh, I want to say it was September of 2019, we got a picture of Noel's, like, partially a picture of her design, and we got a snippet of Lost Girl. Actually, I think it's like some old version of Lost Girl, but regardless, we also got a look at the Cyber City, and I believe the Cyber City theme, but the big thing was Noel. But the thing is, I say it's a big thing, like, in hindsight, but if I remember correctly, I didn't really see people use these concepts that much. Like, Mehmet using Noel's design here, I guess like a take on it, but it's pretty close to what we got, obviously. This is more like a few popular examples, I believe, of somebody using this, and that's just bizarre to me. I'm sure there's more. Comment down below if there's more. I'm confident. Now, y'all know how much I love my boy Jevil.
Honestly, I'm looking at these attacks here, and I'm honestly, like, trying to figure out, it's like, would these be overpowered? Would people complain about them being too hard? And then I remembered the knight exists, and people have figured that out, so who am I to speak?
Alright, and back in the day, he got just as much love as I give him now. And I barely have to even spell it out for you, man. Look at this. Jevil vs. Sans fight animation. 11 million views. Another one with 2 million views. And multiple, I believe, have a few million or at least a few 100,000. It's crazy. This was on Demon Time. And also, don't even get me started on the Photoshop Jevil fan game. Oh my god. I'm thinking about it now. That game made me so scared in middle school when I was watching Merg play it. I remember there were certain attacks where I had to, like, cover my eyes because I was so scared. Mind you, I'm in middle school, so I was just like a bit of a fucking baby, I guess, because I shouldn't have cared. It was 7th grade, but regardless, just thought that was funny. By the way, I just want to ask, where did that trend of, like, turning random characters, like, quote-unquote Omega go, anyway? Like, that was actually a ballin' concept, and I wish we never stopped. Again, I understand that I'm kind of speedrunning here, but
God, yeah, I was definitely out of the fandom at this point. I have never seen this at all. I've also never heard of the like turning other characters Omega. Like, honestly, the closest I would have seen to that, there was like one animation years ago where they did it with Sans, of course, Sans. And it was like, oh God, I hope I can find the video to show a clip in for those that don't know. But it was like, it was Sans and he was a giant, well, just a giant skeleton. And that was just it. Like, I don't know if he injected himself with determination or something. It was like really weird.
Oh my God, there's so much to go over. The most fascinating thing that I liked about Chapter 1 era fandom was just, I think, all the AUs, personally. And it wasn't much unlike today, because, we still have unique AUs, a la Chapter Rewritten, Other Puppet, those are like the big ones. But back in the day, we tried to be just like Undertale. That's the difference.
This is not it,
all there was Delta Swap. Delta Fell,
Swap,
Shift, Twist, all of them. Fucking Deltarune Bop It. We tried to do
always
all,
love a good AU.
None of them stuck. And to this day, I don't think really any of them stuck. I think the closest ones to sticking are Chapter Rewritten, and for a little bit Other Puppet, but honestly, I'm not so sure. And
oh God, short girly Susie on Delta Swap. Oh God, that's a weird one. I definitely got to look into that one. Jeez.
I think that's just a really fascinating phenomenon because it represents that we as a community have mostly matured with the game, and that's the biggest.
Well, I mean, I think it's a little more than that. As you were saying, this is very much, a Chapter 1 only fandom. So at the time, everybody was very much treating Deltarune like it was just Undertale 2. And Undertale is famous for its fandom having an ungodly amount of AUs for, almost any, possibility. So of course, when Deltarune first started off, it's not that hard to imagine it's basically starting off the same way. But it's as Deltarune and Undertale have gone on, they very much have their own two distinct personalities and personalities, quote unquote. So I mean, Undertale kind of exploded with AUs because a portion of the game, or the genocide route, you have a person like Sans talking about timelines splitting, ending, and all that. Plus, the whole fun events angle. So AUs just kind of exploded from there. While with Deltarune, the whole thing with the story has always been, your choices don't matter, and if your choices don't matter, it means that new choices don't lead to new possibilities, which kind of, destroys AUs. I mean, granted, that has kind of, you've gotten a few AUs that pop up, but nowhere close to the mountain of them that's for Undertale.
Takeaway I got from brushing up on old, serious fan media. We're about to go over shitposts in a second, but we've matured as an audience with the story. And I think that's beautiful. Now, I don't mean the shitposts. The shitposts have only gotten crazier. But the story has gotten more serious, and I think in this Chapter 3 and 4 era, I think we've had more, serious analyses than ever before. Because now I'm seeing, in Chapter 2 era, it was mostly theories, and it still's mostly theories. Can't lie. But
yeah.
I'm seeing a lot more just literary analyses now. And I think that's awesome because we are geniuses. Jarvis, pull up the Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein gif. Might not even be a gif. Whatever it is, that's what we look like. But we are now at the point as a community where we are pretty good at making convincing looking content or super high quality canon feeling content. That stuff just didn't exist back in the day.
Oh God, what is this? What is this? I'm looking at it, and it's I know that somebody obviously made this themselves, just, in their free time, but looking at this is hurting. Oh, I hope they continued and went on to better things, but this old cringy stuff.
But I kind of like it that way because it shows this weird transitional period that we had where we were trying to figure out what the hell Deltarune even was. Y'all gotta remember, this thing was shadow dropped on Halloween at random, and I believe the survey program, as it was dubbed, was flagged by a virus on a lot of people's computers. And we didn't get a formal download for a good while.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm tweaking, but I think for a good while. So we immediately got thrown off the deep end, and looking back at how we handled it has just been very cool. I recommend that everybody brush up on old fan content themselves. It's pretty easy. Just go into Google or YouTube and add this before 2021. I don't know if there's a way to make it like before September 2021, because obviously there's content. It didn't just stop January 1st, 2021. But anyway, do that, and there's a pretty big treasure trove as is. Oh, before I go into shitposts, Paper Trail. Paper Trail.
Oh,
and
Paper
saying a lot
Trail,
of things
yeah.
as I remembered that from a YouTube post commenter. Paper Trail is this comic with a bunch of different Rousers, which, by the way, might have kind of predicted copies are monochrome, but you colored them in with care.
God, yeah. I've talked about. I'm forgetting the name of this artist, but they do a lot of really. They have a lot of really good like Undertale and Deltarune content. Here it is. Lynx Griffin. That's it. And like they have Paper Trail. They also have Dogs of Future, which if you haven't heard, is a wonderful like Undertale comic as well. And also, if I remember correctly, they also have a newer one that they kind of work on called like Eldritch Rune or something like that. Yeah, Eldritch Rune right there. It's basically a Deltarune. It's basically a Deltarune AU where like the monsters. Like all the people in the light world are humans, while all the people in the dark worlds are like actual eldritch monsters. And then like it is like, oh god, if I can just pull up some of the characters here. So you have Chris. Oh no, here's Azriel. We got Susie, Noelle, Birdley. Like, okay, so you have Azriel. You know, Chris's human brother. You know. But then you have Susie, which, you know, literal monster. Noelle, deer monster. Birdly, bird monster. Where's... Oh, God, wait a second. Rousey, here we go. The Rousey, the Dark Prince, very creepy. God, I follow it. I follow it because they posted both here and on AO3. And I am so happy whenever there's a story update.
I was never that into Paper Trail, so I don't exactly know the plots. I don't have the time to read a comic right now.
Okay, honestly, it's been a while since I read the whole thing. But if I remember correctly, so it basically turns out that, you know, in this version, each Rousey or version of Rousey is like a page of like a diary Azriel wrote at some point. Like, basically, it turns out that at points of his life, Azriel just sort of like needed to write down a diary and just grabbed whatever a piece of paper was closest enough at the time and wrote a diary about it, and then, you know, stuck it or hid it somewhere. And then it just seemingly, like, dark fountains just start appearing wherever these are, and then you have, like, alternate versions of Rousey. It's, like, it's really weird. Like, I can't really remember why, or if anything was explained why it was happening, but it was cool.
But I would like to if I did have time, trust me, but just wanted to put that out there, because copies are monochromes kind of crazy, and also saying a lot of things as big in Undertale Deltarune. I think the trend was started by Revtrocity, but dude, Deltarune made that shit pop off. Saying a lot of things as Jevil, oh, that was so peak. It was Jevil and rules that we did it as. And speaking of rules, we can finally get into the world of Chapter 1 era meme culture.
Oh,
Mind
God.
you, this is back in the day when we had daily meme compilations, and they were being made about Deltarune. So, yeah, this shit was serious.
God, honestly, I kind of miss those days. I know there was a couple of channels like that I watched at the time. And I honestly miss that, you know, I look back, I think I can't remember the name of this, but I found a couple of them, like, or rediscovered them, and, like, the memes they're showing off, they're just not as good. I don't know whether it's me just growing up or just the content having gotten worse. It's sad, but, you know, it happens.
Let's get into it. First off, I'm making fucking mac and cheese, and nobody can stop me! God damn it! God, that one had a chokehold on my middle school humor.
Yeah.
It was the funniest thing ever, okay? Rules as a character was our big meme man back in the day, really. You know, excluding Sans, because it's fucking Sans.
Yeah.
But Rules was our big Deltarune meme guy. For example, there's also this dank, and that's a dank with a big B for the funny Redditors.
God, yeah, I do remember this one. I've seen this one several times.
There's this dank meme template that people used of him that was just look at it, man. This reeks of the time period. This is history. This is what I've been talking about the whole time, man. Just look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Everybody look at it. Next up our chopping block is Rousey with a gun, or any type of firearm, really. The quote of the day with this one was, quote, "It heals in reverse." God, that was just so edgy and funny and glooky, wasn't it? And again, all of these memes were products of their time. And if you look back at them, just perfect time capsules. And on the same vein of Rousey with a gun, there was also a bunch of, I think, mostly shitpost Megalovania covers, or I guess remixes with Rousey. And I think the big one was called Nyctophobia or something. You could look it up. I think the thumbnail is him with a bazooka or something. But regardless, this is another example of the Renaissance age, because now, recently, super recently, we are making serious Rousey Megalos. Who would have fucking known we went from Nyctophobia to genuine shit, man? And
honestly, I think my favorite of the whole, like, making music but with X sort of deal was, I remember the most recent one I heard was, like, Susie, taking the Susie battle theme, but that then morphs into Megalovania. I've talked about that one before. But then there was also, like, you can find entire playlists of music where people, like, take a song and then insert the freedom motif into it, which honestly, that can be really fun sometimes if it's done properly.
And on a final note with Rousey with a gun, that is technically the longest lasting meme in our community, at least in spirit, because I think it kind of got transformed into Chapter 2's Rousey smoking a fat blunt. Now, albeit they're not the exact same,
obviously.
But they're the same ideas. So, Chapter 1 Rousey with a gun in spirit lives on to this day, and that's beautiful. A single white tear sheds down my leg. Now, I know I brought up rules, but
leg, what?
Here's my favorite. I can't do anything. I'm in a fucking wheelchair. I have hepatitis C, dude.
I don't remember that one.
This one, I quoted so much, and nobody knew what I was talking about because I was a fucking nerd. But by God, this was a good time to be alive, man. I want to bring up the Renaissance for like the umpteenth time because look at this.
Okay.
We have made Gerson in a wheelchair. Time is a flat fucking circle, man.
Gerson, you got too old. Ugh. So wait, how's this supposed to work? From what I remember, like, the green canes, they don't hurt you. They're just supposed to be there that you can be on. Like, why does Gerson have so many canes?
Flat as a pancake. Jevil in a wheelchair, next to rules, spawned the most, like, actual content out of all these memes in terms of playable things, because there was a good handful of mods where all they did was just replace Jevil with Jevil in a wheelchair, and I think some of them changed up the attacks as well. And you know what? It was cool, man. Can't lie. It was cool. Speaking of fan games, Deltarune repainted.
Oh,
holy
yeah.
Shit. Peak. Just either play it yourself or go watch them play it from the source. It's actually so funny even to this day.
Wait, I only just noticed. So look, I'm trying to all the memes. So we got obviously like King Robotnik. We have Blonde Susie. What's going on with this sprite here? Oh god, the name's on the tip of my tongue here for Rousey. We have Metaton, Metaton Chris. Then we have Bill Cipher, Shaggy. I have no idea what that is. Saitama, One Punch Man, and Sans. What? Why?
Repaints as a whole are just funny. Just figure out what they are. I'm not going to explain to you what repaints are. And, by the way, for
Multi-track
any
drifting.
Deltarune repainted fans, if I'm correct, this one is being actively remade as we speak. So that's pretty fucking cool.
I just noticed Chris's spread is doing the Metaton dance. Really? Oh, that's beautiful.
We're definitely gonna rapid fire off some of these now if we weren't already, but I don't even know if this one counts as a meme. It was mostly a joke regardless, so I'm gonna put it here. We all wanted Birdly to die. Like, really, really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
Snowgrave!
Paw curls. Make of that what you will.
Yeah.
And, oh, fuck, I just remembered. This was the era of Vine, wasn't it? There was just an onslaught of Deltarune Vine compilations. You know how they looked. It happened in Undertale community too. That was.
I mean, I will stand on this hill till my dying day. I think Vine was 100 times better than TikTok, just because, like, not even just for, you know, like nostalgia's sake, but just because you didn't have the same, like, corporatized sort of propaganda machine that TikTok basically is. Like, it is so easy to spread misinformation on TikTok. You never got that on Vine. Vine was purely, maybe it's just because it was, you stuck to like 7 seconds long, like at all times, but like Vine was purely just for posting like really short and stupid stuff, and we need more of that.
When it was at its peak, but Deltarune, like I mentioned earlier, when we were trying to find our footing with Deltarune Chapter 1, we kind of just tried to do what Undertale did, but again, as a community. And all these were just Deltarune sprites put on the vines. That's all. You've seen it. It's peak.
Yeah.
Next up, I found this popular Rudebuster shitpost, and look who's center stage.
Oh, God.
I didn't even notice this until I rewatched it a few times. It didn't sink in that we predicted
literally
Woody being a joke, and I don't know how to feel. I'm especially rapid firing this one because I'm not talking about friend inside me. At least not yet. It's
not in this video.
Time. As one final thing, this one's like super general, but the Old Spice revolving. Old Spice YTPs are as old as time, basically, in YouTube, and like, they're still going today, but the Old Spice revolving was on a generational run.
God, okay, this one, I actually do remember this one. This is just magical. Oh, God.
I'm telling you. That's it, really. It's really good. It's funny. Go watch it. And with that, I believe we have covered everything noteworthy. To my memory, of course. Just please let me know in the comments if I missed anything significant, because I'm sure whether it be a serious fan work
the
or a
amount of
shitpost,
time and
I'm sure
effort
I
that's
did,
to
because
go
there's
into making these things.
So much to unpack. If I had time to make this longer than half an hour, I would have genuinely loved to have made like a documentary, bro. Maybe someone else can. Who knows? But I hope I've educated you, my hashtag NewGen friends. Actually, you know what? That will be our comment bait phrase for this video. Comment down below, NewGen no more. Hashtag NewGen no more. Spelled just like that, baby, because I, Rube72, have hopefully, roughly, brought you up to speed. And yeah, thanks for watching. Sayonara. You're good to click off if you're here just for Deltarune, but...
Ah, God, yeah. God, what an era. Again, I'm kind of sad I didn't get to experience that, like, firsthand, at least for the most part. But it's honestly amazing how, like, fandoms like that can just change and evolve. Like, at Chapter 1, like, seeing how basically every like, fan work just had it happening in the Card Kingdom Dark World. Like, that's kind of funny. I mean, like, trying to think back, I don't think I was ever under the impression we were gonna only have the one Dark World, because, you know, the whole thing about the prophecy was that the danger was having too many Dark Worlds open at the same time. So I think I kind of always assumed, oh, we're gonna go to different Dark Worlds in the future. But, like, the idea that was kind of just widespread at a time is just really funny. But yeah, that's definitely going to be it for now. So yeah, I hope you guys liked. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.